What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about Ducky keyboards. Now, are Ducky keyboards worth it? Are they built well? Let's talk about it, because a lot of people ask me about this and I don't really answer it very often, but we're answering it today. So are Ducky keyboards the most, I guess, well-built keyboards that you can buy that aren't like, you know, custom keyboards that are being built by someone, right? I would say no, they're not the best, but they're really good. There's two companies that I kind of like always put higher than other companies, and that is Ducky and Vortex. Ducky and Vortex both make incredible keyboards. I personally like Vortex a lot, and I also like Ducky a lot. And I think it kind of just depends on what aesthetic you like the best. But they both just work really well. So this is the Ducky 1.2. And it's a keyboard I've had for a while and I've used it quite often. It has a USB-C port here on the back, and that's how you connect it. You have BIOS switches on the bottom here, and you have some feet that flip out, and you have two layers of it, so you can actually, there's smaller feet even, so if you want a smaller angle, which is something that you don't get with a lot of the Vortex keyboards. So if that's something that's important to you, like the angle of the keyboard, Ducky's worth looking into. The build quality of Ducky's is always really good. It's, you know, it doesn't really bend at all. There's no bend to that. This has a white backplate, like kind of between the keys, that really allows the keys to shine incredibly bright because it's kind of reflecting off of that. This is just a really cool, I guess, design keyboard. Now this here is a 10 keyless, not my favorite keyboard layout, and we'll go over my favorite keyboard layout in another video, but this is very close to my favorite keyboard layout. And that's also something else when you're looking at different brands, right? So Vortex definitely makes some very unique keyboard layouts compared to Ducky, and vice versa. So it kind of comes down to like personal preference. Duckies are just really enjoyable to type on right out of the box, man. Their keycaps are just really nice. The switches are lubricated correctly. That's something you never have to worry about. The spacing of the keys just feels right. Everything just feels right with a Ducky. And I don't have almost anything negative to say about the Ducky 1.2. Oh, all right, so Ducky keycaps always come, I think, like with some of the best keycaps on the market. So they're double shot PBT, PTB, I always get that confused in my head. And they're some of the best keycaps on the market. They also, this board comes with cherry switches. So, you know, you have your selection of whatever you want. On this board here, I have cherry MX browns because I'm not a huge fan of the click. It gets really old really fast. Like I think when people first get into keyboards, they gravitate towards blue and then kind of stray away and go towards reds or browns, or clears, which clears is kind of my personal preference. All right, so let me just read this to you so I don't get anything wrong. So you can change the RGB lights inside of this, you know, and you can customize it to however you like. However, there is no software that does it. You do it on the keyboard itself and it saves, and then you can take it to other computers. Kind of a pain though, and I kind of just read through everything because it's there's a lot. All right, so first off, there's 12 different modes, right? So first mode, you have wave mode. You have second, I'm just going to read them. Wave mode, alpha mode, Tetris mode, color cycle mode, raindrop mode, circle ripple mode, random reactive mode, aurora mode, reactive mode, breathing mode, or breath mode is how they say it, 100% fully backlit mode, and then backlit off. And how you cycle through them is FN and F10. Then within those, you can do FN left arrow and FN right arrow to increase and decrease the speed. Then you can do FN F5 to adjust the brightness levels for red, right? Then use FN and F6 to adjust the brightness levels for green, and then FN and F7 to adjust the brightness levels for blue. FN and F8 erases all the color settings for red, green, and blue color settings. FN and spacebar will activate a color palette, so then you can select a color that you want. Yeah, there's a lot. And then it goes into single color LED zone customization modes, where there's a lot in that, where you can, I guess, record different color modes as well. For the most part, most people are going to just do one of the combinations of what I've already told you and not do the RGB LED customization zones, because all that just gets like, I mean, there's paragraphs of this, and I'm just not. If I go over this in a video, it's going to take a while. They have dip switches. So in the manual, it shows you all the functions of the dip switches. You have profiles that you can record macros on, which is like layers. So to switch the layers, you have to do FN and 1, FN2, FN3, FN4, FN5, FN6. And then to record the macros, all right, to record the macro, after you're in one of the macro layers, you press FN followed by Control and hold both for 3 seconds. Then enter the recording. Once you are in the recording mode, the lights will flash slowly. You get it. You can record macros. It's in the manual. I'm not going to, I don't want to demonstrate it because it's just something that I just won't use. There are some multi-function buttons as well. FN and with A, J, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, B. And the stupid thing is, I mean, you can look in the manual for this, but if you use FN and A, all like the multimedia functions are kind of go in order from like A, B, C, right? But the problem is that's not like the layout of a keyboard. And so it's like, for example, FN B is volume up, and FN and C would be volume down, but they're not next to each other on the keyboard, right? So I don't know. You can use it. It's there if you want to use it. Yeah. But I mean, I do like the macro layer thing because I do use that. I use that on my Vortex keyboard that's behind me. The reason why I'm just not going to really use it on this is pretty simple. If you've ever used a macro and board, it's nice to have. But the reason why I don't want to use it is just because I don't want to waste my time making macros on a keyboard that's not going to become my daily driver. It's too big for me. Personally, it's too long. I like keyboards that are shorter than this. So that's, for me, it's not going to become my daily driver, but it is a very nice keyboard to have. And here, I'm going to do a little bit of a typing test for you really quick. So that was the typing test. One of the nice things I do have to say about this keyboard is that the stabilizers are amazing on Ducky keyboards. I would probably venture to say that the stabilizers are probably one of the best, like right out of the boxes stabilizers you can get. They sound amazing. I will say Ducky keyboard just does a really good job of making the best sounding implemented Cherry MX switches on a keyboard, I guess would be the best way of putting it. Like that just sounds, it sounds really nice. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's different, right? Okay. And here's the thing, I went and got a Corsair keyboard and that has brown switches, right? And it feels rougher than what these Duckies, than this Ducky keyboard, and it's the same switch, which makes me really confused, which either means that Ducky's doing something more to lubricate it, or the housing maybe isn't moving as much. I don't know. It's smoother though, 100% than the Corsair keyboard, which is really confusing to me because it's the same switch. I don't know. Anyways, should you buy a Ducky keyboard? Yes, 100%. Get a Ducky over a Corsair keyboard any day. Get a Ducky keyboard over any keyboard company any day. The only company that even compares to Ducky, in my opinion, like when you're talking about right out of the box, not customizing keyboards, would be probably Vortex. I'm just trying to think of what other keyboards, like I have a lot of keyboards. I wouldn't even put DAS on their level. Like I would say Ducky and Vortex, man, are the keyboards to look at. Personally, I just like 75% keyboards. And I don't know if a Ducky makes a 75% keyboard. I know I've looked before in the past and I never found one. But if they do, I will get one, 100%. Yeah, it comes with a USB cable. It comes with some modifier keys that are also purple. At least on this one, I don't know what color modifier keys you would get. And it comes with a normal space bar as well. But that's it for this video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.